Hour of the Gun is a 1967 Western. It is a sort of spiritual sequel to Gunfight at the OK Corral. It's directed by John Sturges. It has James Garner as Wyatt Earp and Jason Robards as Doc Holliday. But this movie is sort of like the aftermath of what would happen at the OK Corral. So essentially the beginning of the film is the gunfight at the OK Corral, a lot of stuff going on in the courtroom, and the subsequent revenge of Ike Clanton trying to finish things. And then of course the movie sort of it basically follows events after. And the movie honestly starts off pretty strong, but it starts to meander over the course of the film, especially at the halfway point where it sort of just becomes a generic revenge story. But James Garner does a pretty good performance, as does Jason Robards. But it definitely just feels like the first half gave a shit. Second half of the movie just a generic revenge story. A couple of action sequences, some themes of revenge, but overall it just feels a little bit bland. You know, like besides the two men conflicting and butting heads, there's not much else going for it. Action scenes are just fine. They're nothing specifically good. There's a couple of showdowns. Robert Ryan's okay as the villain, but he doesn't get to do much except talk and hire people. And it's basically just Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday running around shooting people and chasing them down and biding their time. And some themes about justice and the law and things like that, because there seems to be a really interesting sort of plot that they don't really explore. Sometimes people hide their vengeance or hide their hatred behind a badge, because in the movie Wyatt Earp and all of his brothers basically have the town of Tombstone under lock and key, because you have to give up your guns when you come into the town. And of course when they're challenged and pushed out of town by the Clanton Gang, they basically go to another state in order to become marshals, in order to find another sort of superseding form of power to overcome the sheriff and his deputies in Tombstone. And then there's basically men looking for a legal way to kill, to settle grudges, but it's not something that's not really explored that enough. If the movie leaned into that a little bit more, then it'd be better, because what we get is just an okay Western. So I give The Hour of the Gun a 5 out of 10.